part of the music industry, as many students here at Belmont are, you may be aware of the role audio engineers play in just making music. But if you are not, audio engineers basically make music sound good to the audience, whether that's in a live studio session or in a concert session, like in concerts. They do play an important role, and as much as I love being a fellow audio engineering major, there is a big part of the community that is still very flawed. There is a large gender gap in the audio engineering industry, and it is very, very male dominated. So we need to work in closing that gender gap and making it more gender inclusive, as it is not very much right now. To start, we need to look at why women don't want to enter the industry and why it's just promoted to men. Women are discouraged from a young age to enter the industry. This is just basic gender roles. As women, if you want to enter the music industry, you might be told, hey, you should be a music teacher or a singer or a songwriter, instead of, hey, you should be an engineer. That would be really cool. They're just not promoted as well. I feel like that might be obvious, but women lack a lot of role models in the audio engineering industry. Not that there isn't very good women audio engineers, but they're just not promoted as well. For example, if you were to look at a list online of really good audio engineers, there would only be a couple of women on that list. And for example, awards like the Grammys don't award a lot of audio engineers women. I don't even know if there has been women audio engineers awarded for those awards, or even if they're nominated. But there's a lot of lack of role models, and studies have shown that those lack of role models just discourage young women from wanting to enter the industry. If a young woman looks up and goes, oh, I want to do that, and they don't see people like them that are doing well at that job, then they're gonna wanna pick another job. They're not gonna think they're gonna succeed. So even women who do enter the industry and want to do it as their job struggle when they enter it in the workforce. It is very difficult for them to succeed in the industry. There's still a lot of sexism that exists in the industry, even though this is 2021 and we're working on gender equality as a whole society. It is still very difficult. Now, I haven't really experienced this much personally because I'm very new to it, but a lot of upperclassmen audio engineers have told me that they feel that they need to work harder than their male counterparts to prove themselves, just because they're women, and it's very uncommon to have women in it. Specifically, there was an interview in The Atlantic done. They interviewed a very good women audio engineer, and she said that she didn't get one of her jobs as working on tour with the band because one of the wives of the guys in the band was uncomfortable with having a woman on tour with him on the tour bus. So she lost a job just because she was a woman, and not because of her skill or because of how good she is or because she was unqualified, but simply for the fact because she was a girl and the wife was uncomfortable with that, with him being on tour. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I lost a job solely because of my gender and not because of my skill, I would be pretty mad. Now, this is just one specific example, but there are a lot of scenarios like this that happen every day for women audio engineers. Now, this seems very grim. There is a big gender gap, but there is hope. We can build a society and work towards being more gender inclusive. Now, we should work towards this not just for the mere fact of being gender inclusive, but studies actually show that when more women are in a workplace and when there's more gender equality, the workplace is way more efficient and works a lot better. This is just for workplaces in general, but it shows that they're just way more efficient. So if the audio engineering industry had more women and was more gender inclusive, it would just work better and be just better community in general. Also, we can be more gender inclusive by working to eliminate the obstacles that women face when they want to enter the industry. For example, promoting more women in the audio industry for role models that already are there, and just erasing the sexism that exists and erasing the notion that has been there that women just aren't as good as the job. It might take a lot of work because it has been a very male-dominated industry for very, very, very many years, but there are organizations that are starting now. For example, there are Sound Girls Group, which works on promoting women in the industry. There are many other groups like that that'll teach young women specifically, like teach them how to do it and teach them how to be an audio engineer as women, because we don't get that opportunity as much. Specifically here at Belmont, there's a Women in Audio group that I'm a part of that works just toward promoting women in the audio industry. So obviously, there's a large gender gap in the industry, but we can work towards closing that as a society by eliminating the obstacles and just being more gender inclusive in general, and promoting the women role models that are already in the audio engineering industry as well. This will create a better community and will close the gender gap that exists.